Introducing the new Intuitive Racing's 65cc auto clutch. As you can see here in the picture, this is a two clutches side by side. The clutch on your left is the stock clutch. The clutch on the right is the new Intuitive Racing auto clutch for the KTM. The KTM 65 auto clutch here on the right provides you with billet parts, hard anodized with 7075 T6 feature aluminum. Of the cam action lever system is the fact that there's no break-in period and no readjusting of the air gap, unlike the ball and ramp system of other aftermarket clutches. And speaking of ball and ramp systems, by nature that system has a very limited axial travel for positive lockup, whereas the cam action lever system gives you 60% more travel of total positive lockup, which increases the life of the clutch significantly. The stock clutch basically is a mechanism of compromise. The stock clutch works with a compression spring. These springs need to be strong enough to lock up the clutch, yet weak enough to allow the rider to pull the lever in. By using centrifugal assist of the auto clutch, you bypass that compromise. You have greater force of the frictions for better lockup with an easy to pull lever if you so choose. And now the clutch is no longer a mechanism of compromise. Some of the on-track benefits of the 65 auto clutch are the quick lockup and greater control of the bike, diminishes or completely eliminates rear wheel hop while downshifting and letting the rider to carry more speed into and out of the turns. If the rider happens to lay down the bike, there is much less chance of stalling the motor. We have a proven track record with auto race clutches for over 45 years. Since 1978, we've had various patents of centrifugal auto clutches, and the following is a complete installation of the Intuitive Racing 65cc
Okay,
auto
we're going to put in the new KTM auto clutch from IRP. Alright, first step you want to do is turn off the petcock. Step 2 is to drain the oil out of the motor. Step 3, lay the bike on its side, or if you have an available lift, Step 4, put it on a lift. Remove the screws from the clutch cover. Note that there are several different length screws. And you don't need to take the hydraulic lines or anything off. Just set the cover behind the kickstarter, and now you're ready to take off the stock clutch. After you remove the cover, make sure you do not pull in the clutch, because it'll cause excess pressure on the slave cylinder and will break out this snap ring, which will break the casting on this cover, which will cost you many dollars. Step 7. Remove the pressure piece coupling and save for later use. Step 8. Remove the stock KTM clutch. After you've removed the factory basket, you need to take and grind the rivets off the back of the steel plate so you can use your factory gear on your new IRP clutch. And I'll show you how to do that with the Dremel tool with the nice Radiac cutoff blade. And be sure you may wear your safety glasses and keep all the oil and everything away from everything, because there will be some sparks. Now that you've ground all the heads of the rivets off, you should be able to pull this plate off fairly easy, or use a screwdriver and lightly wedge it off with a gear. You won't be needing this anymore. You'll be getting a brand new one with your clutch. So set that aside. Then, remove the factory gear. You will be putting that on your new clutch. Also, the factory rubbers, you will need to put those back on also. So don't throw those away. Pull all those off, clean them off, and save them for later. Step 13. install the 6 rubbers onto the IRP basket. Step 14. Install the gear. Step 15. Install the IRP steel plate with the spot-faced outlet. Step 16. Apply red Loctite to the special screws. After installing the screws, you need to torque them in a diagonal pattern to 11 Newton meters or 96 inch-pounds. Step 17. You need to peen each screw to keep them from backing out. Step 18. You need to put the lever support in with the L shape facing up. Step 19, the pressure plate. Note that the pocket faces upward. Step 20, you need to put in the 2 thrust washers and the thrust bearing and apply grease. Apply grease, drop it in the pocket, then the thrust bearing, apply grease, set it into the pocket, and then the last thrust washer. And the grease helps the thrust bearing from falling out of the clutch when you're installing the clutch. Step 21. Be sure to install the 2 KTM needle bearings onto the sleeve and make sure it goes onto your main shaft on the motor. Like that. Step 22. Installing the basket onto the motor. Be careful you don't drop your thrust washers. Push the brake pedal down a little bit. Slide it on, and then rock it back and forth a little until you get your gears lined up inside. After you've got the basket installed, put your stop disc washer on over the shaft. Goes right inside this pocket here over the shaft.